Okay, I like a lot about that. We can work with that. I'm first going to look at you in the impact position because it's the most important. Everything the ball does, how far it goes, how high it goes, how much it spins and curves, is a direct response to the laws of physics in motion at the brief moment of impact. On the left is Tiger hitting an iron. This is video I took at last year's US Open. On the right is Grant Wade hitting the driver. Grant was a PGA Tour player during the 90s and now is one of the top instructors of tour players. Grant's teaching partner is a good friend of mine, Joe Mayo, who lives in Las Vegas. Grant was considered by many as having one of the best and most fundamentally sound golf swings. At impact, they both have the majority of their weight on the left side. In fact, the average pro will have 85 to 90% of their weight on the left side at impact. I've drawn a red block from the center of their ankles to the top of their head, and you can see that the red line off their left foot is passing right through their belt buckle, showing how the center of their mass is right on top of their left foot. They both have extended arms through impact. Their elbows are close together and not separating. Having extended arms and weight forward allows them to control the low point of their arc of their swing. When hitting the iron, this fundamental allows the placement of the low point to be in front of the ball, so that they hit the ball first and then the ground, producing the maximum compression of the golf ball. These fundamentals also allows for the highest level of consistency in controlling the face angle and club path during impact, so that you in turn have the highest level of consistency in hitting whatever optimal ball flight you want. Bill, here you are at impact on one of your shots during the round of golf. And from this position, things look pretty good. You certainly have the majority of your weight on your left side, which I like. That blue line is almost going right through your belt buckle. So you've done an excellent job of shifting your weight to the left. There's one thing I noticed in your post-impact position that was a little bit different. Each iron had a little bit different look in your post-impact, and they also there was a difference between your iron swing and your driver swing, or basically any ball that was on the ground. You had a little bit different post-impact position than you did on some other shots, and I want to kind of talk about that and focus on that difference. I'm going to take you back to your load position, top of your swing. We're going to look at one of your shots during the initial video review. You're in a good position here. You do have a really good position on the right, where you can really see that beautiful load in the left leg there, pressing that ground. You're also in a good position on the left, but they're just a subtle difference. They're both good positions, though. I'm going to take you in both swings. I'm going to take you down to impact. Take you down to impact. There. Now, as you come through on this swing, you keep your elbows close together. arms are extended. I can begin to see a little bit of the white glove underneath the wrist of the right hand. So you have a nice crossing action going on there. On the swing on the left, as you came through, you can see how this left elbow is kind of chicken winging. It's kind of coming up on you, and so your glove is, your left hand is here. So those are two completely different swings with an iron. And on the course, most of the shots had that look on the left. When you're on the range and you're just hitting, you're relaxed. You have a better release and rehinge in your follow through. The rest of the structure of the swing looks good in terms of you're on your left side. It's just we're not quite there yet with repetitiveness of the release. You know how to do it. You do it when you're in a certain environment, but you still have a tendency to have that chicken wing, that left arm pop out on you on the course. Now, interestingly enough, it doesn't happen on the course as much with the driver. Let me show you that. Now, here you are on one of the tee shots on the course, and as you come through, both arms are very extended there, still very extended. So you're not letting that left elbow push away from the right elbow. You're not bowing the elbows out. You're keeping them connected much better there on the drive. And during the round, I noticed that you were starting to let your upper body shift to the left foot with the driver. And so I asked you to maybe go ahead and feel 50-50 with the driver. On the left was, I'm going to kind of take you slowly through that routine. You'll see what I'm talking about here. You're setting up on the left, getting comfortable, and then kind of just a last minute pre-swing thought before you take the club back, you fall right there. You see how you kind of just fall to the right, to the left side, to the left leg right there. You fall, and then you take it back. Then you quickly made that change. As soon as I suggested staying 50-50, you incorporated that on the last several holes of tee shots. Here you are, you're shuffling, you're getting yourself measured, you're pretty 50-50. And you just take it back. You eliminated that fall to the left with the driver. And so I want you to continue the 50-50 setup with the driver. And that'll be good. Going forward, in terms of what to work on in your swing, I want to, we have made some beginning progress with the rehinge and getting the hands and arms through. I think it's not locked in where it's just automatic. The body doesn't just automatically do that rehinge and eliminate that chicken wing. Part of eliminating the chicken wing, I'm going to go back to the iron swing. Before I go to the iron swing, I did want to talk about one thing with the driver. I was looking at your flight scope data and a couple things. One in particular was your attack angle, at least during that session. I don't know how many, maybe 6 drives you hit. You had an average of a negative 1.2 attack angle with the driver. And what I would like for you, we need to have an upward attack. I like to have that to be 2 or 3 degrees up on the ball and not down on the ball. One of the other things that you had a spin rate of 4,500 RPMs coming off the face of the club, and if you could get that to under 3,000 RPMs, you're going to add 15 yards to your drive without having to swing harder. the club head speed that you generate and deliver to the ball is going to make the ball do two things. It's going to make it go forward and it's going to make it spin. And the more energy that it uses to spin the ball leaves less energy to make it go forward. And so if we can reduce the spin, then that energy that was used for spin will then be transferred over to forward ball movement. So the couple things I want you to do in order to hit the ball further without having to swing harder is you need to hit up on the ball and reduce spin. The other thing that can cause too much spin is having the wrong fitted driver. And your club head speed is averaging about 86 miles an hour. It's pretty close to what mine is. And I play a regular flex shaft, and you play a stiff flex shaft. And that I play a 10.5 driver, and you play a 9.5 driver. There are some things that you can do to increase your distance, but that driver that you have, in my view, based on at least this one capture of data from one session, is that the driver does not fit your swing. That I would recommend a regular flex shaft, and I would recommend probably a 10.5 driver. And to hit up on the ball, we might move the ball forward a little bit in your stance. So instead of being here, we might just move it up a little bit so that the club, as you move to your left side, you're not moving past the ball and hitting down on it. That's what you want to do with an iron, of course, but you want to hit up on a driver. So I may want you to experiment, almost even some radical experiments. Really put it out there and see if that gives you a little bit better consistent contact. And if you can hit up on it, you'll get a much better carry and total distance. Now I'm going to go back to, now I want to look at that iron. I wanted to show you one other thing about the iron. I'm going to take a look at one of your iron swings on the course as you come out of the transition from the top of your backswing to the downswing. Watch the right elbow, and instead of it coming into the side, with the pros you would not see this daylight right here. That armpit would be closer to the side, and the right side and right hip and right arm would kind of be connected and come into the ball together. And so there's just a little bit of, if we can get that armpit down a little bit more and that right hip coming through more. So I like there to be just a little bit more right hip turn. If the right hip is not helping you swing to your follow through, turning into the follow through, what happens is the handle of the club starts getting closer to your left shoulder as you come through, and that distance this distance becomes shorter than this distance. And so the only way you can keep hold of the handle with both arms is to bend the elbow. Because of the shorter distance the handle is to the left shoulder. If the left shoulder is a shorter distance from the handle than the right shoulder is, then the only way that you can accommodate that shorter distance is by buckling the left elbow. So the correction is to get this right shoulder around more, which it's being prevented from happening because the right hip isn't coming around soon enough. So if we can get that right side to turn more, that's going to bring the whole right side of the body, shoulder and hip, and therefore the handle will be equal distance to both shoulders when we get to this position right here. And if that's the case, then the left arm will have a less opportunity to bend on you. So getting that right arm kind of trapping into that right hip will be one of the things that we will tinker with or add to the downswing move as we work on the rehinging move simultaneously. But you hit a lot of good shots, and so we just need to continue just periodically touching bases on some of these fundamentals, and little by little, that correct release of the hands and keeping that left arm more extended through impact, that'll start becoming more automatic. You already have many swings that occurs, it's just not occurring every time. You don't have complete ownership of that move yet, and that's what we need to get to.